What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the very first episode of the Run the North podcast. I am here today with two, I don't even know what to call them at this point, but I'm here with my man, the Geek Slays in the middle of football. I don't really know what else to say. I've been given the Bladen Kirk role in this thing. David's freaking me out. Listen, this is basically exactly what you see. Run the North. We are a sports podcast run by NFC North fans. We don't have a Lions fan, but they don't disregard that. They don't matter. Sorry, I'm mad at them. I hate them.
The Packers fan talking shit's pretty funny.
Anyway, how are you guys doing? How's it going? How are you vibing? How's life? Stuff like that. Anecdotes. Somebody start talking, please.
Still talk.
Somebody's gotta talk, dog. No, I'm doing all right, man. I'm in the middle of a week away from creating content. That's been different. Re-uploaded an old TikTok today instead of making a new one. That was definitely a choice.
I saw that. I was gonna comment the real ones. No, this is a real repost thing because I kind of did a double take because I was like, wait a second,
His hair's
that's
pink
not
again?
what he looks like right now. But you're wearing the same shirt you were wearing in that video, so now I'm freaked out.
It's all planned.
It's all planned. It's always planned.
I think he just always wears the Viking shirt on camera no matter what. I think that's my theory.
You literally only have to scroll one video back to prove that wrong.
Yeah, that is. Hey, man.
I was wearing a TwitchCon shirt yesterday.
What a Twitch user. Average Twitch user.
And
right
Yeah, it's almost
what
like that's my
color
job.
Is the main color of Twitch?
Purple.
And what color is the main color of the Vikings?
Purple.
Oh, look at that. We see a theme. Anyway.
Yeah, and what's the main color of the Geek Slays, dog?
I don't know.
Blue. I can see blue right there. There's blue in the lightsaber and your logo.
Green. It's green.
It's
Look
green.
at the chair.
It's gotta be good. The chair's green.
I don't know if the chair's like
We
on your
got
camera,
him.
but it's green. We got him. We figured it
We
out.
got him. All right, this is
I
a two-man
fucking
show
hate
now.
this.
Geek has officially lost his mind. 10 minutes into the
That's all it took.
first
Not even
episode of this
10 minutes.
podcast.
No.
We're like
Less
3.
than 4. We're under 4 so far, dog.
And a minute of that was us talking about. Never mind. I'm not even gonna say it.
A minute of that is getting cut out before we start.
Yeah. Anyway, today is obviously we are approaching the playoffs.
Oh, I didn't get to give my
Oh yeah, Miller. How are you? Sorry, man.
I'm pretty okay.
That's good. That's
Oh,
good.
skipping him like they try to do to Theo. That's always great.
It's okay. He's doing good.
Don't label me Theo. I don't want to be Theo.
I'm
Oh,
sorry,
gosh.
dog.
Don't do
I
this.
get...
Guys,
no, I
we have
get,
to be our own
I'm
podcast.
Spawn out. No.
Guys, stop this.
It's more
Stop
fun
this.
to do it this way because we're going to get people roped in right at the beginning debating who's
That's
who
true.
and who's better.
That is
We're
true.
winning.
Or what if
The poll on Twitter
Crazy
comes out
concept?
after the.
I'm raising my hand to speak? Okay, what if this crazy concept? We don't compare ourselves to another podcast.
I
We
was
just
just-
be
That's
ourselves.
literally what I just said 5 seconds ago. Was let's just
No,
be
you
our own
didn't. I said it
podcast.
better.
Fine,
I
whatever.
said it better.
Maybe you worded it better, but that doesn't mean we're saying different
Yeah.
things.
Nobody got what you were saying because we were.
I'm
talking
sure they
over you.
did. They'll find out. Fine.
No,
Then
no,
no
they
Twitter poll. I'll delete the draft. Whatever.
Oh, good God.
I don't care.
Delete the draft. I kind of need the draft. I'm a Bears fan. That's like all I'm looking forward to.
No,
Dude, you're
not
trading
again.
your pick anyways. Who cares?
Yeah,
Let's
it's true.
We're gonna
pull-
trade that
Actually,
like 6 spots.
Nope. The Bears being the
Don't
Bears,
even
they
know
are
if
going to
it's a seven.
trade Fields and draft Will Levis 1 overall.
You guys, before we get into our main topic, you guys have one guess as to who made a video on TikTok today. You might have already seen it, saying that the Bears should definitively draft Bryce Young and trade away Justin Fields.
Is it the racist?
Or is it fantasy football a dumbass?
I think you guys are talking about the same person.
Yes.
Oh, are we?
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
him.
I didn't know that
This
part.
man-
I'm just...
He sits down in front of his camera and he's like dead serious. He's got his hat. He's just staring at the camera. Just the Bears should trade away Justin Fields and draft Bryce Young. Fields is a
That man
bad
never said
passer.
Anything intelligent?
No, send him to Minnesota where he belongs. That was our quarterback.
Brother, we could do an entire an hour and a half episode of this podcast talking about his bad takes. I mean, he
Yeah.
predicted the Seahawks to go 0-17,
Didn't you see
like all this stuff.
Didn't the Jaguars already end that man though? Like, why do we care anymore?
The Seahawks did too, actually.
Oh, really? I
missed
didn't
the
see that.
Seahawks one.
The Seahawks, it was a bunch of people, but the Seahawks made a compilation of people telling them they're going to be bad, and his 0-17 take was in
I
there.
like that better because then it doesn't make him look as important. He was just one of the many.
It's true. It doesn't
rather than
isolate him. Yeah, you're right. Could have been the
isolating
only
him is
one
giving
saying
him
that
what he
about the
wants.
Jaguars.
He's a
Alrighty.
fool.
See, I was fine. I predicted the Jaguars not to be awful, but not to be like really good either. I had
I
them
think
at
I
like
had them.
7-10.
I think I had them second in the division still,
Me too.
because I was way too high on Matt Ryan.
No, I had them second in the division behind the Jags. The team that should flame me is the Titans because I predicted them to have 3 wins.
And hey, they didn't have 3 wins, but they certainly weren't good. So
Right?
take what you can get.
I'm not going to open my mouth about mine.
No, open your mouth. Own up to your
I mean-
mistakes.
I mean, I had the Colts winning, and then the Titans at like 7 wins, and the Jags at 6.
I mean,
So
That's not horrible.
that's valid.
yeah.
You didn't
I mean-
predict a near playoff team to only have 3 wins.
That is true. They
I
were.
mean, I picked the Seahawks to have 4,
That's a good point.
and
So
where did I have the
did
Giants?
all of
Oh
them.
no, I had the Giants a lot higher than I thought.
I had the
Okay,
Giants at
keep
7
going.
and 10, which only ended up being like 1 game off. But
Right, I'm at 5 and 12. So don't we have something to like actually talk about? That you
We
make a
do.
whole itinerary and
We do, yeah.
everything.
Yeah,
and
there is a
speaking
whole
going off
itinerary.
topic,
speaking of teams like the Giants and the Jags, okay, we are here to primarily talk about the playoffs. Talk about teams that didn't make the playoffs that should have made the playoffs. I'm not hinting at any specific teams that may have played on Sunday Night Football against a objectively worse team with a worse quarterback in their home stadium in January with a playoff spot on the line. I'm not singling out one.
Lions
specific
should have
team,
made the playoffs. You're right.
but
Yeah, they should have.
here we are. Anyway, yeah, let's talk about the playoffs. Okay, let's talk about what do we got for the wild card. In my opinion, only one of the AFC games will be good because we have some quarterback stuff going on in the other 2. But we'll start off talking about, I guess, Bills Dolphins. It looks like it's gonna be either Skylar Thompson or a healthy Teddy Bridgewater, whichever
Mike
one
Glennon.
ends up.
Don't forget he's on the practice squad.
Mike Glennon is there, but boys, I think we're probably all on the same page about this one. I mean, this is going to be a smoke show. I can't lie.
Nah, if Teddy plays, Dolphins are winning. Book it. Book it.
I'm not going to go as far to say they win, but I do think it'll be a game if
It'll
Teddy
be a closer
plays,
game
at
than
the
if
very least.
Skyler plays.
See, the thing I'm remembering is the last time Teddy played in a playoff game was in worse weather than they're going to get in Buffalo. It was negative 50 degrees in Minnesota that day when we were playing outdoors in the college stadium. Teddy played great, got us in position for a game-winning field goal. Blair Walsh pulled a Blair Walsh.
Ah, yes. Blair
If
Walsh.
Teddy plays, he's winning. This is his first playoff start since then. If Teddy plays, he's winning. Book it.
I hope you're right.
Book it.
I
I
want you to be right.
hate Bills
I
I
want me to
can't
be
do
right.
because and this is no disrespect to them as people, I live in Western New York and they are very annoying. And I think
That's
it'd be
where
very
you live?
funny. Yeah.
Never knew that.
I live like an
Alrighty.
hour outside of Buffalo, and everybody in my circle is a Bills fan, and they're all just like, "This is our year, Super Bowl, Super Bowl." I'm just like, guys, please, just watch. It'll happen. Our time is coming, and it. Yeah.
So in 8 years, when Minnesota's back in Buffalo, we're hitting that game up, right?
I mean, yeah.
Sick.
In 8 years, when this podcast has billions of followers and we're rich and famous, we'll be able to go to any NFL game we want. So.
Good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
Alrighty. Moving on.
Miller has no faith in his own show.
Yeah.
I want to make sure
Yeah.
I have no
everybody
faith
knows
in
that.
anything I create.
Is there? I mean, are there any really big storylines in this game outside of Tua being out? I mean, it's a pretty just cut and dry. It's a divisional matchup. These two teams have met twice before, split the season series. If Tua was playing, I'd give the Dolphins a pretty healthy shot, actually. Like, I think that they could take this game. I mean, they had them in Buffalo, and then Tyler Bass happened. But I think that, I don't know. It'd be, I still find it hard to believe that even if Teddy plays, they play them that hard twice on the road. This time in the playoffs, the Bills have so much to play for. They're not only playing for like a spot in the divisional round, but they're playing like on a very high emotional level. So I don't know.
But who owns the Bills in every playoffs game they've ever played? Who owns them?
Tyreek Hill. Yeah,
Number
sure.
10.
Oh, okay.
Number 10.
I see where you're going with that. Okay.
I mean, hey, listen, if anything that helps my Tyreek Hill wide receiver 1 narratives, I'm all for it. If he goes off for 200 yards, so be it.
He's still going to be wide receiver 2, but that's okay.
Yeah, behind Chase Claypool.
The delusion has already set in for
Tyreek
Bears
Hill
fans.
can only dream of being the deep threat that Chase Claypool is.
Tyreek Hill can only dream of being the TikToker that Chase Claypool.
That's
Did you
also
all
fair.
forget that Chase Claypool mossed Sauce Gardner this year? Did Tyreek Hill do that? I don't think he did.
Y'all forget that Chase Claypool has 3 total catches in a Bears uniform? Because he was on the team for 8 weeks and still couldn't figure out the playbook?
He also got hurt for like 4 of those.
Okay, which means he had extra time to study the playbook and couldn't figure it out.
Okay, well, like
If he was anywhere near the caliber player of Baker Mayfield, he would have just been good the first game.
He would have
But
stepped in
listen,
and
like-
led them to a dub.
not to start on a whole other tangent, but like
Yes.
genuinely speaking, by the time Claypool got like integrated into the offense, everything else fell apart.
True.
The offensive line got way worse. Fields had no time to
right.
even look downfield for Claypool. And then Nathan Peterman came in, and who was Tim Boyle? Nick Boyle's the tight end. I keep getting that confused. Tim Boyle came in,
Timothy
and it's
Boyle, Packers legend.
you know, it is what it is at that point.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't actually think Claypool is better than Tyreek Hill.
Obviously.
I
Sorry.
assumed that fact.
Yeah, I think we
No,
all
no.
knew you weren't that silly.
I do think the Claypool trade to this point is getting a little bit too much hate personally.
It's not.
Yeah.
You basically traded a first-round pick for him. You traded pick
Yeah.
32
yeah,
for
but,
him.
okay, but when you factor in the context of why they had to give up that pick, at least it makes a little bit more sense. I don't think it was like a home run trade. I'm not going to sit here and pat Poles on the back for it, but like I think it's understandable. You can rationalize
Steelers
it, and it's more
technically
than you
have
can say for
2
both
first-round
things.
picks this year.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah,
Huh.
technically.
Kinda.
Great.
Hopefully they use one of those to, draft a quarterback. I hate Kenny
Hey.
Pickett. He's so bad, dude. I
Well, guess
don't
what?
get
The
it.
Steelers aren't in the playoffs, so we're gonna move on.
That's valid. Let's move on
And there's a
to...
I
reason
just wanted to
why.
put that out there.
Mr. Trubisky. Anyway,
He's bad at football. Love him to death. Bad at football. Anyways,
all right, lock it in, boys. Who we taking? I'm going Bills. I'll start.
Bills.
I'm going Bills.
All right. Keeping it in the AFC. I think this will be the best game because it's the best quarterback matchup that we're going to see. Chargers-Jags, Saturday Night Football, primetime. Al Michaels is coming back to NBC for it. It's going to be sick. Not with Chris Collinsworth, which lame, but I get that he has to do the Sunday night game. Anywho, Chargers-Jags, the Jags blew them out earlier in the season. Like, I think this will be really interesting because the Chargers are way better than they were then, but yeah.
Well, personally, I think both teams are going to go out and they're going to have a good time. And that's all that matters at the end of the day.
That was the corniest
Awful.
Kirk Cousins answer I've ever heard. You
Yeah.
don't ever get to call Kirk corny again after that.
True. Got you there.
I'm just trying to be positive, man. There's a lot of negativity out there.
Listen,
I'm going to be
yeah,
positive. I'm positive that Duval is moving on. The Chargers suck.
I don't know, man.
The Chargers
they
suck.
do.
Like,
It's
their weapons are worse somehow. And the Jaguars wide receiver 1 is Christian Kirk.
I mean,
like-
Mike Williams is out, so that doesn't help.
But even if he was
Is he
playing,
out? I thought he was
hasn't
playing.
been good.
He's not playing. It was confirmed earlier.
Oh, they're cooked.
They're cooked. They don't
Chargers'
have a deep threat.
weapons-
Keenan Allen's slow. Yeah, there's no shot.
Dude, the Chargers' weapons may have less juice than the Bears' weapons. Like, at least Cole Kmet has
No.
some juice. Mooney might have some juice, but there is no juice for the Chargers, which is wild. They're named after electricity and they have no juice. That's something. It's awful. I love Herbert, but
yeah. I mean, if Mike Williams is officially out, what do we have? We have the corpse of Keenan Allen, Josh Palmer, who I actually like.
He's okay.
He's fine.
Are there other receivers healthy, or Carter and Guyton good to go?
I don't know about Guyton, but I think Carter's good. Carter's a wide receiver 3.
Then the legend Gerald Everett, who actually isn't bad.
He's not awful. He's just a Chargers tight end that isn't named Antonio Gates. People are like,
I mean, legitimately speaking, he might be their best weapon right now. Like, outside of,
he's
obviously,
athletic,
Eckler.
Yeah, big guy.
Like, ugh.
I mean, the question is, you really have to look at is, do you trust Herbert enough to overcome that or not? I mean,
if I trust anybody,
I personally, I don't know, because we said the same thing about Herbert in the regular season, and they've fallen short, especially against the Jags earlier, and they were injured, and they are a better team now. But honestly, like, Herbert is very, very good, but this team is just terrible. Like, if Rashawn Slater comes back, they would have to win for him to come back against, like, the Chiefs or something.
Oh, yeah.
But without Rashawn Slater, he's not going to play this week. They have Trayvon Walker, and they have Josh Allen, and Trevor Lawrence has been playing well. I think he's also a big question mark. Like, is this pressure going to get to him? Don't think so.
No. I was going to say, if
national champion Trevor Lawrence is going to get scared over the lights in Jacksonville.
Mac Jones was also a national champion and got destroyed against the Bills last year.
Yeah, but Mac Jones also is not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Mac
not
Jones
fair.
played for Alabama. Being a quarterback and winning the national championship as an Alabama quarterback means nothing. That's like a participation trophy. Good Lord.
Talk about Jalen Hurts like that.
No, it absolutely is a participation trophy. He got benched, dog. Remember?
Yeah.
And then turned into the better quarterback of the two. That's
not a slight at Hurts now. Hurts is fucking awesome now, but like back in the day at Bama, he wasn't the Hurts we all know and love. He was a different Hurts. But like, I don't know, Trevor Lawrence, I mean, that's like the one big thing that everybody praises him for is his ability to thrive under pressure, both like with the lights and everything around him, and both in the pocket. Like, I think they'll be fine. I wouldn't say guaranteed 100% like Geek is, but I do think the Jaguars are going to win this one.
Also, I'm not going to lie, unless he's injured, Asante Samuel Jr. is the only starting cornerback I can name for the Chargers.
Yeah.
I don't know who's guarding those receivers. And Evan Ingram's like legitimately been good too.
Yeah, Derwin James is going to have to basically play corner all day against one of the receivers.
Derwin James is normally either going to be covering your tight end or roaming, but if he covers Evan Ingram, I don't know who's going to be on Christian Kirk. And even Zay Jones is capable.
Zay Jones is just an incredible athlete. You can just use his speed all day.
Is if ETN can hold on to the ball, I think I'm taking the Jags.
I'm also taking the Jags because they have better Josh Allen.
Yeah. It's just occurring to me that when I did my TikTok game picks yesterday, I actually took the Chargers, and now I vehemently regret that.
All right, we'll lock it in here, man. Who are you taking?
Jesus, I almost did it again. No, the Jaguars are winning this game, 100%.
I'll take the Jags as well.
Yeah.
Nice.
We've swept it so far.
Nice.
Far we've agreed on all our picks.
Oh my, I'm a mess today already. I
think we're gonna sweep this one because again, missing their top two quarterbacks. Ravens Bengals is gonna be another just.
Wait, Huntley's not playing either?
In practice yesterday.
Oh my god.
So what's their third stringer's name?
Anthony Brown.
Anthony Brown, that's right. Yeah.
Receiver for the Cowboys, yeah.
Even if Tyler Huntley plays.
That's Noah Brown.
No, corner for the Cowboys. I went the wrong.
I gotcha.
Tyler Huntley, I think, is expected to go still, but he hasn't had any practice this week, and he's Tyler Huntley. So I think that this is probably his game.
See, the Ravens are obviously going to win, right? Because they just paid the player who is the reason their team's good, right? They just chose their guy, right? So Roquan's got to carry them to the promised land, right? You're off-ball linebacker who you're willing to pay more than you were willing to pay Lamar, the dumbest front office I've ever seen. Holy shit.
Lamar's actually hurt anymore. This is a holdout.
If I was Lamar, I wouldn't play for this fucking team again. Oh my God. No shot.
Also, the only thing Lamar can do is hurt his playoff record, which is the one thing people do.
They'd get smoked even if Lamar played. Dude, like, it's so bad.
Bengals are the most complete team in the AFC.
100%.
I mean, they're gonna blow their way through that game because even if Lamar plays, it's been how many weeks since he's taken the field in an NFL game?
Yeah,
right.
Like, he's rusty.
Yeah,
he's great, but he's rusty.
Yeah, throw him into a playoff environment where already there's a ton of pressure on him given his playoff record, but you have the implications of a contract, a divisional game. Lamar would be fucked even if they did play, or even if he did play. Yep. Also, I just want to give the Bears fan take on this with the whole Roquan Smith thing. Dumbest fucking decision they could have made. Listen, I get that Roquan's a phenomenal football player. I'm not going to tell you otherwise. He's one of the 5 best off-ball linebackers in football. $100 million. Highest paid player at that position in NFL history, and he's not even the best one in the league currently.
I don't even know. He's not even in the top 3.
I don't think he is either.
Shit, I'd argue in the division he got traded out of, he wasn't even the best off-ball linebacker in division.
Yeah, there's definitely an argument. It's not one I personally agree with, but there's an argument to be made there.
Right? I'm a big EK guy, but I should be, obviously.
I think Roquan's better this year, but
Devondre Campbell even won an All-Pro before Roquan did in that division.
That's true.
Like, I know that's...
I do like...
I'm not saying Devondre Campbell's better, but I know that's something that definitely matters to front offices and things like that. Roquan, like I said, great football player. He just doesn't play a super valuable position. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
He came into Baltimore, switched up their defense. He's the leader there, their centerpiece. That's awesome. You don't have to pay him $100 million. If you don't pay him $100 million, nobody else is going to do it, so he's going to come crawling back in free agency. Or, alternatively, big brain idea, you save the franchise tag you want to use on Lamar for the linebacker, and then you pay Lamar.
And then figure out if you have any money for Roquan.
Right.
And if you don't, you get him for 2 years, that's what you traded, that's fine.
Right. Because at the end of the day, it's just not a valuable position anymore. I hate saying it. My favorite player of all time, arguably, like, I don't know, I flip-flop back and forth. But most of my favorite players ever are linebackers. It's my second favorite position in the sport. There's nothing I find more entertaining outside of a fullback dive than a linebacker popping somebody up the middle. But, like, it's just not worth it. If Fred fucking Warner didn't get $100 million being by far and away the best off-ball linebacker in football, a genuine game-changer, centerpiece of the best defense in football, if he didn't make that type of money, and, I get it, you reset the market, you change things up, blah, blah, blah.
He would if he were to be getting paid after Roquan.
Yeah. Roquan isn't the dude to set that precedent. There's a reason the Bears didn't give him that money. I think it was
And the Bears actually had the money to do it.
Right. Not only did they have the money to do it, but I think the Bears offered him like $1 million, $1 million less on average per year than the Ravens did. But the Ravens gave him all sorts of incentives and guarantees and all this shit to get it up to $100 million. Roquan just doesn't seem like the guy that's worth that type of money. And not to mention, I don't want to make a huge deal about it because it hasn't been in the news, but there's also like the potential swirling of, what happened in South Africa, if you're aware of that situation, that, I don't know where that's went because it went super quiet, but I'm not somebody with those type of situations to just shove them aside when they don't get talked about it because they can easily pop back up later on. So, like, I don't know. And then, we were talking about before the podcast, the way he acted in the fucking Bengals game. Are there character concerns with Roquan? Maybe that's a bit of a stretch, but
well, with the other allegations from him, I would say yes, there are character concerns.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys remember, but when he first got drafted, he was like the last first-round pick to sign a contract because he was pissy over the money. Like, I get it. Go get your bag, get paid. I'm all for it. But at a certain point, you gotta accept your worth, as shitty as that might sound. Because we got to remember, this guy's negotiating without an agent, and that makes things so much harder on everybody involved.
Yep.
Because you don't have that middleman who like knows the game, so to speak. Like an agent can take the motion out of negotiations and just be like, this is what we think we're worth, you tell us where we're at, and we'll meet in the middle, we'll figure it out, blah blah blah. When it's a player doing that, it's like, this is what I am worth, you are telling me my self-worth, or you are telling me what I am worth to you, and that makes it messy. It causes a whole issue. We saw the kerfuffle with Chicago where he said he didn't feel respected, even though in reality the offer wasn't that far off from what he ended up getting. It just becomes a whole mess. And I think Roquan Smith, again, maybe I'm a salty Bears fan, I don't know, but I think he handled the whole situation fucking horribly.
Yeah.
And there's a reason he's on a new team. You know, like, I'll stop after this. But the fact that the man caused all these problems, requested a trade, and then got traded just to turn around and be like, well, I didn't think I'd actually get traded. Thought I'd still be a Bear. Like, no, buddy. You requested the trade. This is what you wanted.
You can't use the bargaining tool, but then get mad when they go, fine, you win.
I mean, like, what would Roquan Smith have to do to be worth $100 million? Like, even if this defense goes on a historic run in this playoffs,
be Micah Parsons.
Like,
yeah, and that's the thing.
Literally,
is like even if they somehow beat the Bengals and this defense plays really good, and they may take the AFC Championship or something. It's just like Roquan Smith is not $100 million guy. But yeah, I mean, I think David's gotten the whole Roquan thing off his chest. I think that probably feels pretty good for him.
It was important.
Yeah, talking about the Bengals side of things, they're pretty healthy around the board. As far as I know, I know that Boyd, Higgins, Jamar, they're all healthy. Mixon's healthy. Burrow's healthy. I don't know about the defense as much, but who really cares? Because do they need it to be? No. But
they don't need it to be, but they have one of the most, I would say, slept-on defenses in football right now. It's fucking incredible from top to bottom, and it doesn't get near enough hype.
Yeah, and like, this is a defense that, like, you can look at them right now and say, well, how are they going to stop the Chiefs? They did it.
We've seen them do it already.
This is not a different defense than last year, but I think it's a better defense than it was last year. Like, Jesse Bates is still that guy. I mean, as much as you want to make fun of Mr. Burnt Toast Eli Apple, he's not that bad. He's not that bad.
The reason people make so much fun of him is because he's, Cam Dantzler on the field, but talks like he's Jalen Ramsey, and people don't like that. You have to back up what you say, and he does not.
Exactly.
Most of the time.
There was the one play he made in the Chiefs AFC Championship game that was kind of crucial. That he backed up.
Yeah,
he's capable of making plays. It's just like Geek says, he doesn't do it consistently enough to back up the speak off the field. Like he said, Jalen Ramsey, Deion Sanders, those dudes can talk as much shit as they want because they were the best in the game. Whereas Eli Apple, he's serviceable. If you're serviceable, you can't talk shit.
But even Jalen, we've noticed it this year. Jalen hasn't been talking since people have started saying, and people aren't even saying he's bad. They're just like, he's a top 5 corner now. He's no longer the best. Jalen's been silent. I think Jalen's going on his Geno arc. I ain't right back yet. So,
yeah.
All right.
True. Yeah, but like Mike Hilton, fine. This team is, I mean, I don't see any way that they lose this game.
That's
yeah.
Yeah.
I really think, like, there is legitimately, if you guys can think of one, go ahead and say it out here, but I legitimately can't think of one thing that worries me about the Bengals in regards to this game.
They don't have a fullback.
That's valid.
That's right.
It's all right.
In that case,
the Ravens have the most overrated fullback, so it's okay.
Yeah.
At least they have one.
True. Having one on the roster counts for more than.
I would rather have Giovanni Ricci than no fullback at all.
I don't know about that, homie. I'm sorry, I'm over this. I would rather have a bad player than no play. No, I'd rather have no player. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I can't agree.
True. Or Giovanni Ricci, man. What did you do?
He's awful.
When my fullback rankings drop, I don't know, when does this come out? Tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
So today, when you're seeing this, they'll be up on TikTok. Hopefully, depends on what time this comes out. I might not be out of bed yet. Gio actually moved up my rankings a little bit. He grew on me a little bit. I say a little bit, like 2 spots maybe, from like 32 to 30, just because a couple other guys popped up and were like worse.
Can't be worse. I refuse to accept that.
I promise.
Apparently they can.
There are wide receivers better at playing the position than him.
Ben Skoranek.
Hey, Ben Skoranek's up there.
Ben Skoranek, Cooper Kupp's twin.
Cooper Kupp's twin, he just has a higher motor and more grit.
Better than Cooper Kupp.
That's why he plays fullback and Cooper Kupp doesn't.
I don't know, it annoys me. I hate watching the Rams when both Skoranek and Kupp are playing. Because one wears 18 and one wears 10. I never know who's who. It's like, oh, Cooper Kupp. That's not Cooper Kupp. Fuck.
They need to pass a rule where every team's only allowed to have one white wide receiver.
No.
Any more than that is too many and too confusing.
No. No.
Oh, man.
No.
Anyway, who are you guys taking in this one?
I want the Bengals.
Yeah, it's the Bengals, dog.
Bengals.
Sorry, Ricard, but the Bengals are better.
All right.
I know you're not, because you're a hater.
No, if Pat Ricard was as good of a fullback as you think he is, he'd be helping Lamar get paid instead of sitting there not helping at all. Just being quiet, acting like it's all cool. Go get your boy paid. Lead block for him. That's literally your job, you fuck.
Lead block for him into the GM.
Since we know you can't catch a run, go set a block. But no, he can't, because he sucks.
Yeah. Just for reference, Geek, double checked. Giovanni went from 32 to 31 because I realized the Dolphins have a fullback sitting on injured reserve that shouldn't be on a roster. He's just on IR. And so I'm counting him to boost the numbers.
Nice.
Look at that.
Nice.
So I'll put it this way. He's better than John Lovett because he sees the field. He plays.
Fair.
Good for you, Giovanni Ricci.
Good job.
Yeah.
For you.
Hey. Yeah, hold on.
Oh no, here he goes.
I'm doing the Google. Wait, so I don't know. Can we really say Ricci's that bad? Aren't the Panthers one of the best rushing teams in the NFL?
There's nothing to do with him.
I was going to say
you're right.
No, you can't start saying that. You can't start saying that now fullbacks don't matter, Miller.
It's not that
you don't get to switch your narrative.
That's not the narrative, though. It's the idea that. Let me put it this way, okay? Ricci is capable of making some plays here and there. I would argue he's better suited as a tight end because he's a meh blocker, but he has okay hands. So he's better suited as like a tight end 2 or actually probably a tight end 3 on most teams rather than a fullback. He would be like the worst gadget fullback is the best way to put it. The worst, how does Madden call them? The utility fullbacks. It's like,
isn't that the only fullback option? Isn't it just blocking and utility? That's it.
He's also played like 200 less snaps than Deontay Foreman, which means there's been at least 200 snaps, which I would guarantee you he's gotten at least a good percentage of his big runs without Giovanni Ricci on the field.
See, like, there's a clear difference, not to get too much into, the ins and outs of fullback usage, but obviously teams like the Bears or the Niners who actually have elite fullbacks and use them at I don't want to say a high clip just because fullbacks don't get a ton of usage, but at a high clip relatively.
Yeah.
Speaking.
Yeah.
Those guys actually impact runs. Like, it's very clear that guys like Kyle Juszczyk, Pat Ricard, C.J. Ham, Kari Blasingame, Jakob Johnson, they impact the run game. The Bears have the best run game in football, and Kari played a role in it. objectively, he played a role in it. There are plenty of examples you can point to of him springing open holes for Montgomery, Herbert, even Fields. There were plays this year, some of my favorite plays, even though they weren't the most successful because nobody else on the team can fucking block, where they would send Kari out in front of Fields like a literal bodyguard on like a rollout pass, and then Fields would take off. Like, that kind of stuff is apparent and noticeable. Whereas Ricci, it's like he subs in it, like he's a fullback, but pretty much what he does is he subs in at tight end sometimes, and might pick up a guy on the opposite side of the field, which granted, still matters. Mm-hmm. It still matters, but there's a clear difference in value and importance, so to speak, in those two types of fullbacks, obviously.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Right,
no, I want to.
Now that we've slandered Giovanni Ricci,
poor guy.
I still love you.
Continuing the topic of the NFC South, we're moving on to the NFC, and a game that me and Geek just got into an argument about a couple days ago on Twitter: Bucks Cowboys, because this man somehow thinks that Tom Brady is just gonna beat the Cowboys.
Yeah, did you not watch the Cowboys last game? Dak looked like the worst quarterback in football. Their defense could not stop Sam Howell. He's not good. The Commanders are not good. This Cowboys team, it's the same old Cowboys, dog. You still have the dumbest head coach in football in Mike McCarthy, who will cost you a game, and it will be this one. You still have Dak, who is good, but he is working with the two dumbest offensive minds in football in Mike McCarthy and Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore cannot draw up plays.
Interview, by the way.
I don't know how, but cool. Give him a job. It'll play like Urban Meyer and Nathaniel Hackett. Dude does not know what he's doing. Like, Dak's not bad. I like Dak, but he is prone to mistakes. I don't know if that's all Kellen Moore's offense or if it's just Dak being Dak. But we also know this Bucs defense, while, yes, it's been banged up and not great, Antoine Winfield is going to take advantage of those mistakes. So is Jamel Dean and Murphy Bunting. The Buccaneers, while, yes, the Cowboys are the better team on paper, don't be fooled like everyone has for the last 5 years. They're always the better team on paper, and it never matters. The other big thing, Cowboys defense has a problem. It's the fact that I'm pretty sure a high school team can throw for 400 on them. Cool, Trayvon's over there. I'm just going to throw over here where the Geek Slays and Miller football are playing corner for us, because that was the best we could find this week. The Cowboys are not in a position to go on a run, and neither are the Bucs. But the Bucs are at home, and it's still Brady. I'm betting on GOAT every time.
And Brady and Evans are starting to get back into the groove of things over the last couple weeks. They've really fixed their connection and, righted their wrongs. I'm with Geek 100%. I agree with everything you said, but I'm also a big believer in I don't bet against Brady in the playoffs ever.
That's
just
fair.
Because it's Brady. Like, regular season's one thing. I know they were really disappointing, but they made it to the playoffs. And when you make it to the playoffs, everybody's 0-0. Yep. Everybody's record's reset. And when Tom Brady is in a winner-go-home situation, back against the wall, I trust him more than anybody. Even guys like Mahomes, Herbert, at this point, I still trust him more than anybody to take full advantage of that. And not only that, like Geek said, their secondary sucks. What's Dallas's big strength? They can get to the quarterback. They can generate a lot of pressure. Who's the best quarterback of all time under pressure? Thomas Edward Brady.
You forgot a middle name.
No doubt.
Patrick.
What?
Thomas Edward Patrick Brady the third.
Since when?
Since always. Have you never heard Skip Bayless do that? Every time he says his name, that's how it goes.
You think I pay attention to Skip Bayless?
Who doesn't watch that show? Shannon Sharp is fucking awesome.
I don't have cable, so
Neither
I don't
do
watch cable TV.
YouTube exists, dog.
Fair. Either way, the point being, I have way more faith in the Bucs. And, I feel for Cowboys fans because I'm one of the people that doesn't hate Cowboys fans or the Cowboys. I'm very indifferent towards them. they had a lot of spark. That they had all of the momentum at the start of the year. The defense looked great. Dak was okay, and then he got hurt and came back, and now, like Geek said, he's turnover prone. It's rough. It's rough. Dallas needs to fix their secondary before they go on any sort of big run. And obviously, that's not going to happen before they go up against the GOAT. So the Buccaneers are going to win this football game. I'm fully confident in that. I know, like I said, they've been underwhelming. I really, really don't like their offensive coordinator. I can't remember his name off the top of my head because he is awful. He is the stereotypical, like, what is it?
The Bucks?
Yeah, the Bucks offensive
Byron
coordinator.
Leftwich?
Byron Leftwich.
Yeah, Byron Leftwich has been awful this year as an offensive coordinator, which is weird, but he has been. I think a lot of the Bucks' woes have actually been coaching related. That's what I chalk it up to.
I chalk it up to their offensive line is just so fucked.
That's fair too, but you got to remember this team refused to run the ball until like mid-season.
They didn't refuse; they just couldn't. When you're missing Jensen, Marpet retired. Their left guard also left. Like, this is not that strong O-line they've had the last few years. No, this is Tristan Wirfs and some dudes.
But it's like they weren't even making an effort. And you still have to make an effort. Even if your personnel isn't there, you still got to try. It's the NFL. They're grown men playing football at the highest level. Every once in a while, everything's going to align, and you're going to break something off, and it'll be beneficial. And they were just like, we're not even going to try that. And then, the wide receivers started getting hurt, and the offensive line being banged up didn't help Brady. Brady's out there throwing it to more no-names than he's usually throwing to. It was a mess for them at the start of the season, but now things are starting to click. Things are getting in rhythm. Brady's going to be back to, playoff Brady. That's going to take a lot of the pressure off the defense. They're going to be able to capitalize on these turnovers that Dak is so prone to, like Geek mentioned. I just don't see a world where the Cowboys beat the Bucks here, and I need to stop rambling. That's like the second tangent I've gone on now.
Yeah, listen, I think I'm picking the Cowboys in this game. I know I don't feel great about picking against Brady, but it's for a couple of reasons. First of all, you guys just talked about it. The Buccaneers cannot run the football. And as much as you want to say that the secondary is bad, you can't just throw the ball on every play. You can't just do that. You have to be able to run the football. Establishing the run game, as much as you want to say that it's phased out of the NFL, is a very important part of winning a football game.
No, I don't disagree at all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they can't do that. In the moments when they're going to need to the most, they won't be able to do it against this Cowboys defense, and I think that's really going to hurt them. Second of all, I think you're really exaggerating the gap between Mike McCarthy and Todd Bowles, because Mike McCarthy's a bad head coach, but Todd Bowles is not a good head coach either. And I think both of you know that deep down in your hearts. And I know that Brady...
I don't think Todd Bowles is a good head coach by any means, but Mike McCarthy might be the worst head coach currently employed in the NFL.
Yeah, but I don't think the gap is that big, even if he's a little bit worse.
It's still big enough to matter.
Maybe it is.
At the end of the day, that's what matters. It's big enough to matter.
I don't know. I honestly don't think so. I mean, like you said, it's hard to bet against Brady. It's hard to bet against Brady against a bad secondary. It is. But if Trayvon Diggs, if they do the right thing and have him shadow Mike Evans, you can at least slow him down a bit. And then, is Godwin going to step up? They don't have anybody at tight end. I mean, they can't run the football.
Don't forget the GOAT.
And
also, don't sleep on Julio motherfucking Jones.
Oh, yeah. Julio's still a Buccaneer, isn't he?
Yeah, don't sleep on Julio. Julio already torched the Cowboys once this year. He'll do it again.
It's also so funny. I watch the Buccaneers every fucking week by choice, and I always forget Julio's there. And then he catches a pass, and I'm like, oh, Julio.
It also doesn't help that he wears 6, because that's disgusting, and I hate it.
Yeah, it's awful.
But other quick point. Go ahead.
Just for 17 yards against the Bucs. Not sure that's necessarily torching them or anything.
Wait, no, he definitely had the 40-yard. Did they not count that pass now? I remember the play because it was Julio being old Julio on a go route where I think he beat Trayvon.
Why does he? Why did he run the football? Why are they showing me his rushing stats from this game?
He had 2 carries for 17 yards? No. He had a great catch. But also,
3 catches for 69. Yeah.
Here's something freaky. The Cowboys' run defense is actually worse than the Vikings and the Bears.
Oh, no.
So playoff Lenny might still have a go.
I don't even know.
Playoff Lenny's got a fullback these days, man.
Playoff Lenny might need to be a fullback these days.
I'm probably wrong, but hey, listen. All I'm saying is whoever gets picked in this game is not making it any farther than this game. So,
no, sir.
I don't think they are.
I don't think it makes that much of a difference
who
wins
at
this
all,
game
but...
because they run right into the buzzsaw that's either I don't even know who they'd end up playing. If it was the Bucs,
the Giants or the Eagles.
No, they either get the Eagles
Giants.
Or the Vikings. Those are the only two options.
He's delusional. Let him have it. He doesn't.
We're gonna get into that one in a minute.
Does he
fucking worry?
Does he know?
Does he know?
Yeah, let's cover the non-Vikings games next.
I want to get to that one. So let's pick this game. Oh, we're gonna move on to the next one.
No, I know. I want to move on. Let's save the Vikings one for last. Let's save that because I'm gonna have a tangent.
The one I care about.
Sure.
Yay.
Okay, so what are we picking for this one? You guys are going Bucks?
Oh yeah, I'm going
so
Bucks.
So it wasn't apparent by both of our tangents. We're going with the Bucks.
I'm going with the Cowboys. What's the other game? Why am I blanking?
49ers, Seahawks.
Oh, Niners, Seahawks.
The Brock pot will slow cook those birds. Mark my words.
Yes.
Please, you two, get into it, because I got some shit to say about
Geek,
this game.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
I got a question for you. What is the oldest saying in all of sports? Who wins championships?
Defense, but you also got to remember this is the same defense who just
San Francisco 49ers.
No, they're not. No, they're the best front seven in football. They have the worst secondary in the playoffs by a lot. You just got torched by Jarrett Stidham.
The disrespect is ridiculous.
The guy who Talanoa Hufunga's good. He also doesn't. He's not there. He doesn't have smart eyes. He will mistake plays and let you beat him over the top. He does it constantly. And look at the Raiders game. They let one of the worst passing offenses in the NFL, led by Jarrett Stidham, cook him.
Who also threw 2 picks.
Cool, it's Jarrett Stidham, but you also let him throw for 400 yards and 5 touchdowns. I know that's not exactly right, but oh my God.
Threw for 3 touchdowns, and...
Yeah, 3-2 is a lot different.
That's a lot different.
5-2.
Second of all, I think the narrative that if a quarterback throws for over 300 yards, he's good and torch the team is like
Did you watch the game?
Also, Devontae Adams had 153 receiving yards. That's half of his passing yards.
Right.
Over half of his passing yards.
Yeah, it's fucking Devontae Adams, dog. What do you mean? Does that surprise you? But my point is,
the Seahawks had that's even close to that level.
DK and Tyler Lockett?
Neither of them are half the receiver Devontae Adams is.
Okay,
that's a little aggressive.
Maybe DK is.
That is aggressive.
Maybe DK is, but neither of them
half
are
the receiver. That is too much.
Yeah, that's insane.
3/4 of the receiver, whatever.
All right, okay, but my point is, the Niners secondary is awful. Like, it's atrocious. Also,
this is true.
No rookie quarterback has ever led a team to a Super Bowl. Not once. Brock Purdy is also not good. Watch the film.
Okay,
no, his mechanics are worse than Baker's.
To be fair, this has to be the best situation of rookie quarterbacks.
Right, exactly.
Not true. Big Ben is a rookie. Was the number 1 seed in the AFC, but he got beat by a quarterback who actually understands what playoff football is.
Are we saying that Geno Smith understands playoff football?
Geno Smith has never played a playoff game in his life.
What I'm saying is look at Pete Carroll's record against the Niners in his career, just against Kyle Shanahan. Also, while the Niners swept them this year, look at every time a division opponent sweeps you in the regular season, plays you in the playoffs. Yeah, the team who got swept wins.
It's a nightmare matchup. It is the worst possible matchup the Niners could have gotten in the first round. I don't disagree with that at all. And I don't think it's a cakewalk for the Niners by any means.
No.
Don't get it twisted. I think this is going to be a hell of a football game. But at the end of the day, I do think the Niners defense will prevail, and I think Purdy will do just enough, which is what he's been doing. He is game managing the fuck out of the Niners offense. He has the best set of weapons any rookie quarterback has had in a handful of years.
Maybe ever.
Other than Mahomes. I wouldn't go, actually, oh no. What was Mahomes looking like his rookie year? Did he have Tyreek and Kelsey his rookie year?
Yes.
Yeah, he definitely did.
But he also didn't have a CMC guy.
That's fair.
Or even a Brandon Ayuk. Or Juszczyk.
Right.
So
the point being, we don't have to get into the historical context of everything. The point being, he has playmakers at every spot around him. Literally, I know it's me saying this, but like literally even his fucking fullback can beat you. That's the type of offense we're talking about. 2 receivers, a tight end, a fullback, 2 running backs. Because is Elijah Mitchell playing this game?
Yes.
He's back, right? Yeah. You have 2 phenomenal running backs. You have guys like is Juwan Jennings at this point? Who the fuck is it? Who's that third receiver?
That third guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually like him.
Either way, they have other playmakers as well behind those playmakers that aren't quite as good, but they'll sneak up on you. He has all of that offense. He has the best front 7 in football. Granted, they do have a weak secondary, but it's gotten them this far.
And I don't know how much I trust the Seahawks offensive line against that pass rush.
I don't trust the Seahawks offensive line. Gino's been great, but we've seen signs of weakness from him before.
He's the guy you can force into mistakes pretty easily.
Right. Yeah. It's not like Gino's going to come in here and be week 1 Gino once again. This is a Gino that has had ups and downs, and now he's going into the playoffs. He's never played a playoff game. This is a guy who spent the entirety of his career as a backup. Love Gino. But it's not like he's guaranteed to come in here and dog on the Niners.
And Purdy's guaranteed to come in and dog on anybody? He's played 4 games.
Purdy
is worse in every way.
The weapons.
Purdy doesn't have to be better.
Right. It's the weapons. The offense is so fucking simple for him. Let me put it this way. He's Jimmy Garoppolo, worse in every way, but he doesn't make the mistakes Garoppolo does. He doesn't turn the ball over like Garoppolo does. That's the key.
The thing is...
Right, so there's no reason to assume he will.
Call him as bad as you want. 49ers are 4-0 under Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
No, we're not using wins. No. Because all I've heard all year about my team...
I'm not saying it's because of him. I'm saying that they can win in spite of him if he's bad.
See, no, because winning doesn't mean shit, right? Isn't that the rule? Isn't that what everybody's been telling me all year?
The Vikings
if you want to call a quarterback elite, you can't base it off their wins. No, but we're not trying to say Purdy's elite. We're trying to say you can win with Purdy. There's a difference.
You can win in spite of him, even if you call him bad.
But my thing is...
Daniel Jones and the Giants.
Right. And does anybody think the Giants can make a run?
Not a run, but they'll beat the Vikings.
The Giants also don't have the weapons that the Niners do, the defense that the Niners do. They don't have any of that.
I agree. My bigger point is, we are, within the next 2 weeks, because I don't see the Niners making the championship game, we're getting the Brock Purdy disaster class. Because he has the worst mechanics of any quarterback in football. I have not seen the dude make a single throw with a steady base yet at all. He has the happiest feet I've ever seen. He throws from awkward arm angles randomly for no reason. Well, yes, it's been working. It will not continue. We saw this with Baker, and Baker's mechanics are better.
You're not wrong. I don't disagree with any of that at all. I just don't think it'll be the Seahawks that are the ones to...
Yeah.
I think the Seahawks have the best chance because they have the coach who knows how to beat Shanahan.
Yeah, but also the Seahawks defense is not like this juggernaut that he has to go up against.
No. But Pete Carroll is a defensive head coach. Pete Carroll's got something cooking for Brock Purdy.
Let me put it this way. I don't think it's a surefire win for the Niners.
It's not.
Okay, by any means.
Okay.
It's going to be a hell of a football game.
Based off your guys' arguments, it felt like
that. Fighting chance. Yeah, okay, we just didn't communicate well. That's okay.
Okay.
I think the Seahawks have more than a fighting chance. The Seahawks absolutely can come out on top in this game. However, I personally don't think we get the Brock Purdy disaster class this week. And if we don't get that disaster class, the Niners are the better team everywhere else.
Agreed.
And I think that'll be what leads the Niners to be the champions. They're the winners of this game. Next week, if they're going up against, an actual, high-level NFC team, because there's, 2 of those, we can have a different conversation. This week against the Seahawks, I don't think that's going to be the case. And when I say a high-level NFC team, yes, I do mean the Vikings. The Vikings are a high-level NFC team.
God.
Okay, it's the Vikings and the Eagles, and then everybody else.
Okay.
I think we can all agree on that.
The Niners do belong there if they had Jimmy G or Trey Lance. I just can't. Exactly. I can't see Brock Purdy leading a team to the promised land.
Right.
So
this is just the Dolphins with a better supporting cast and a quarterback that fits their offense a little bit better.
That's valid.
That's all this is. Skylar Thompson. Yeah.
Dude,
I don't know.
Skylar Thompson might have the worst arm I've ever seen. Oh my God. I've never seen a 10-yard throw have to be arced in the air 40 yards to get it there. Dude, it's nuts.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I think I just thought of a better way to put the whole Purdy thing. Okay.
Okay.
Physically, mechanically, you're right. He doesn't have any of it. But up here, he has it all.
He's pretty mentally sound.
He is very clear. Yes, he's a very mentally sound quarterback that just doesn't have any mechanics. So yeah, he's going to shit the bed eventually. And anyone that's like, well, should we have a conversation about Trey Lance? They're going to look like a fucking fool here come next season when Trey Lance walks out as the starter week 1. Because there is no chance in hell the Niners are starting Purdy over Trey Lance.
No. Unless they magically win a Super Bowl. If he magics them to a bowl, that's different. But
it would take winning it all for Purdy to be the guy.
If that happens, we got to call up Kyle Shanahan and ask, did you trade your soul to the devil or something? Because there's no fucking way.
No. If that happens, everyone's going to adapt the Shanahan offense next year. And that means every single NFL team will employ a fullback.
Do the Jets have a fullback?
Yeah, he's just been on IR.
Okay. Okay.
Bawden's awesome. He's just hurt.
Okay. I was going to say the Jets already adopted their offense, and I haven't seen a fullback once.
It's just, I think it's his ACL he tore at the start of the year, if I'm not mistaken.
Thanks.
Yeah. But to counter your point about everybody already running the Shanahan offense, everybody either wants the Shanahan offense or they run its weird bastardized cousin, which is the McVay tree version of it. That is like fullbacks. Nah. Look where that got him. Who's in the playoffs? Am I right?
Right.
Kevin O'Connell
Shanahan won
is
a
in the
ring
playoffs.
Too. Oh, no, he didn't. Shanahan didn't win a ring.
And no, he hasn't.
But Kevin O'Connell still uses a fullback, so
That's
he's
true.
like the in between the gray area.
Okay, but how do you
valid.
show up in Minnesota with a top 3 fullback and go, no, I don't want you?
They would do it.
I don't think he would.
He'd say,
I don't think he would.
He'd say, hey, Thielen, come here. Thielen, come here. You block this guy? You do that for me? He turned Thielen into Skoranek.
I mean, Thielen's got that dog in him, so it would work out.
He does. True. Love Adam Thielen. I've always loved Adam Thielen.
Okay, sorry. We had the miscommunication there. We should. Okay.
My God, yeah. See, when I said the Niners won a ring, it's because my brain forgot that Harbaugh was the coach.
They didn't win. They haven't won since the 80s.
Christ. Oh my God.
They didn't even win the power outage game.
No, the Ravens did. Jake, what is your opinions on this game? Because me and Miller have been yelling too much. Well, he has an attack over there. Let's get you. I'm sorry.
My whole life
I
is
think, to kind of cap off this game, I think it's the Niners. I'm not calling Brock Purdy a good quarterback, but I'm calling the Niners a very, very good team. And Shanahan's a better coach than Pete Carroll. I know that the record speaks for itself with Pete Carroll, but Shanahan's a better head coach than Pete Carroll. Brock Purdy He'll do enough, and that's all that really matters for them. Also, the Niners are my Super Bowl pick, so I can't say anything negative about them or else I'm going against what I said. So, I'm taking the Niners. I think we're all on the same page. Maybe Geek, you're picking the upset here, but
I'm taking the upset here because you guys are going to take the upset in the other game. I'm taking this one.
I am definitely.
So,
at least I got to get one in.
Yeah, I'm getting my upset in here, and I just feel like the matchup's better.
Tyler, can you mumble your pick for this game through your
check?
Agony? Yeah, he's picking the Niners. All right.
No, he's picking use check. There's a difference.
Yeah, true. Use check is the Niners. Let's be real.
How did I forget that they didn't win either of those Super Bowls?
Right.
Am I that clouded by my fullback love that I just?
Are you from a different simulation?
Did he think that they beat the Chiefs too?
He did.
The Niners won.
In his head canon, Jimmy G doesn't. Yep, yeah. Jimmy G actually makes the throw.
Oh my god, dude! The shitty thing is, like, I watched both of those Super Bowls in their entirety. Rooted for the Niners in both of them, and was heartbroken when they lost in both of them.
Yep.
Yet for some reason, here in the year of our Lord 2023, I'm like, nope, they won.
They won. Dude, it's your over love of Shanahan. It has clouded you. You've allowed this Dark Lord to twist your mind until now.
Shanahan is
until now you've become the very thing you swore to destroy.
Cousins?
Yes.
Cousins. To be fair, you did say some of the goofiest stuff I've ever heard you say.
That's
earlier.
true. You're corny. Oh my god.
There's nothing wrong with corny until Kirk Cousins does it. That's my take.
Oh, now corny's okay unless it's Kirk. Don't be such a hater.
Listen, I'm openly hypocritical towards Kirk Cousins. I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
Kirk's the most clutch quarterback in the playoffs.
Speaking of Kirk Cousins, let's move right on to the only game that any of us actually have a stake in.
Okay. I want you two to speak first, because I'm like a blank slate.
I'm going last, because it's my team.
Right,
so I'm going last.
But no, you have to talk so I can hear your take on it, because I'm a blank slate. I truly don't feel strongly either way.
So I'll let Jake go first.
Sway me. That's your goal here. Sway me your way.
I have taken the favorite in every single game before this. It is time to finally take the upset pick. But when I tell you to book that Daniel Jones is going to march into Minnesota and to take down the most fraudulent top 3 seed the NFC has ever seen. I'm joking about that part. Not true at all. The Packers were last year. But we saw what happened there. Anyway, when I tell you that the Giants will march in and take down what everybody's calling a fraudulent team, but people are just like, oh, they're not actually fraudulent. Everybody just says it.
I was gonna say, are people still calling them fraudulent at this point? Are we not past
everyone
this?
is calling them fraudulent.
People mentioned that during his rant. Yes, but I think the Giants are going to win this football game some way, somehow. I think it's going to happen. My reasoning: Vikings defense bad, Giants offense good. No, but Vikings defense bad. Ed Donatel bad. Kafka and Brian Dable very, very good. Evan O'Connell also very, very good. Not the point. Point is, Saquon Barkley going to torture this defense. In my opinion, I think he's going to have a very good game. I think he's going to be the driving factor. Let's also not forget that they already played in Minnesota, and it took a 61-yard game-winning field goal for them to win. I mean, this was a close game, and Daniel Jones kept them in this game. He made some good throws. He threw a pick, but I think he actually played pretty well in their first appearance. I don't want to go by this quarterback threw for a certain amount of yards, so automatically he's good. But I think he actually played very well. He made a very nice throw on the 2-point conversion to your boy Daniel Bellinger over there. Made a very nice throw, and I think it was actually like a good throw. He made some nice throws on that last drive to keep them in the game, tie the game up. I think they had the capabilities to win this game. I'm really just picking this so I have an upset pick, and I think that I honestly think with all the other games that are available, the upset pick, I think this is the most clear one to me. I'm not saying it will happen, but I'm saying it's the most clear upset pick. I'm not taking the Dolphins over the Bills. I'm not taking the Ravens over the Bengals. I'm not taking the sorry Buccaneers over the Cowboys, and I'm not taking the Seahawks over the Niners. I'm taking the Giants over the Vikings. Simple as that.
I just want to point out, the entire time you gave that, I don't know if you were watching Geek, but this man has Lose Yourself blasting in his headphones, ready to just fucking pop off. He's really about to call you out for your real name being Clarence. This shit is about to go down.
Oh, God. Clarence's parents had a real good marriage. That's true. Okay, so here's what I know. The one thing that the Giants are good at is running the football. They can't throw. Now, in that first game, Daniel Jones threw for a lot of yards, but he also threw a pick and 2 more should-have-been picks just dropped by Vikings defenders. One of them was Duke Shelley, who, since the Buffalo Bills game, I know in the Bills game, I was, get this moron off the field. He's allowed a 55 passer rating against him all season. This is our cornerback 5, technically, because of all the injuries. We're getting Cam Dantzler back. We're getting a Caleb Evans back. Harrison Smith should be fully healthy. Zadarius Smith should now be fully healthy. He's been battling a knee injury for a while. Saquon Barkley in our first meeting had 84 yards rushing, and that was without Dalvin Tomlinson playing, Minnesota's best run defender. Also, Minnesota's defense is actually really good against the run. They don't let you beat them on the run. They're going to force Daniel Jones to have to pick apart a secondary full of just veteran dudes who know how to make plays, throwing to wide receivers such as Isaiah Hodgins. And, that tight end, Daniel Bellinger. I'm sure Eric Kendricks is going to have a tough time with him. I'm super sure. Like, one of the 3 best coverage linebackers.
Put some respect on Daniel Bellinger's name.
We're talking
Eric
about
Kendricks
a linebacker
who...
we're talking about a linebacker who held Travis Kelce to under 50 yards receiving in their only meeting. Bellinger don't scare me. Not at all. Danny Dimes is the... Good. Outside of Brock Purdy, but that's not fair because he's not a starter, Danny Dimes is the worst starter in these playoffs by a lot. Like, he doesn't do that much good. Now, this year he has improved, and I will give him that. A lot of that credit goes to Brian Daboll. He is a great head coach. But if the run game doesn't work, you're forcing Daniel Jones to beat you. I don't think he can because he's not been able to beat anyone when asked to before. If the running game works, the Giants win. If it doesn't, they lose, and it won't. We have the pieces to stop their run game. But then let's switch to the other side, that Giants defense. The 2 good players on that defense, and that's it. There's only 2. Dexter Lawrence and Leonard Williams.
Hey, don't disrespect Kayvon. Don't do that.
I'm disrespecting him because he's kind of a garbage human. Sorry. Tough. But, actually, I can also speak to that. Kayvon played us once. Didn't do anything. He didn't register a pressure. Christian Darrisaw owns that little man. But also, we are getting Garrett Bradbury back, our center, which last year, that would have been a problem. Garrett Bradbury's been rated as a top 10 center this year. Garrett Bradbury has been surprisingly good. It's almost like having a scheme that allows for an athletic center to do what he needs to do is smart. Because he's not one of those, he's just big and tough. He's just a super freak athlete. Our old offense, that didn't work for it. We needed a power guy. KOC knows how to use them, and it's worked. But that secondary is where you have problems. See, there's this man in Minnesota. He wears the number 18, goes by Jay Jettis. Who's stopping him? Because I know you want to talk about Saquon, but Saquon kind of got shut down in the Vikings game. If it wasn't for that late run in the 4th quarter, he would have finished with less than 40 yards rushing.
I do want to point out that Justin Jefferson will have a good game and had a good game, but they still only won by 3. Oh,
you're right. We did. Who all was missing in that game? half of our O-line, most of our defensive starters outside of EK, Harrison Smith, and Daniil Hunter. Like,
Tomlinson played in this game.
Did he? Oh, he did. Okay. Apparently that was the week he came back. That still proves my point, though. With Dalvin, you can't run on us. He just doesn't allow it to happen. He is one of the best 3 techs in football.
Could do it better.
But
Sorry.
Why are we talking about Grover Stewart?
Because he's an underrated run defender.
You're right, but he sounds like a fucking Sesame Street character. Why are we talking about Grover Stewart?
But Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, TJ Hawkinson, KJ Osborne, Adam Thielen, they're going to be guarded by Walmart employees all day. We also have this special information that came out today, shockingly, from Ed Donatel himself. These are the words ripped out of our boy's mouth. The veteran players on the Vikings defense have taken over the team this week. They're not letting him do whatever the hell he wants anymore. Harry the Hitman, Pat Pete, EK, they're telling him to fuck off. We'll do it our damn selves.
He had to do his press conference from the closet they locked him in.
Probably. So I'm sorry. I trust the veterans on that Vikings team more than I trust the mostly inexperienced Giants. I think like 4 total of their players have ever seen a playoff game. Kirk's won a playoff game. None of the Giants ever have. And Brian Dable has shown issues with things in the playoffs before. Dable's not perfect. And he doesn't have Josh Allen or Diggs. He's got Saquon and some Walmart employees. There's my argument.
So
down to you, Mr. Miller.
I lied going into this.
Yeah, you're picking the Giants, I know.
No.
Oh.
I've completely changed my mind. I don't think the Giants really have much of a chance in this game. I just wanted to play that up for TikTok and piss you off specifically. I just didn't want to talk before Geek because I knew he would take all of the words directly out of my mouth, and I didn't want to stomp on his moment.
Thank you.
You're absolutely right. Daniel Jones, okay, first of all, I just want to say, I didn't know about the Vikings defenders taking over. There's probably not a group of veteran defenders that are smarter and just better than the veterans in Minnesota, specifically the veterans. Hate the Vikings, but you have to respect Jesus Christ, why is that in my mind? Yep.
Yeah, you gotta respect Cam Dantzler. He's going on his Richard Sherman arc. We're gonna get the NFC. We're gonna get the NFC Championship game, and he's gonna lock up AJ Brown, and we're gonna get Cam Dantzler after the game.
Like AJ Brown.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Try me with a sorry ass receiver like Brown. That's the result you
never
got.
Heard of him.
Woo.
Never heard of
Sorry.
him.
You have to respect Smith. You have to respect Kendricks. You have to respect Zadarius Smith. You have to, like, genuinely, that defense is stacked on paper. The talent's all there. The fact that they were I think it's safe to say, historically bad in the regular season, right? In terms of, like, yards allowed. That is malpractice. And I am attributing 95, maybe 100% of that to Ed Donatel. Because you cannot tell me with that level of talent, at all 3 levels, you can be that bad. Just naturally. Something has to be horribly wrong. If these guys have pulled like a full French Revolution, cut this motherfucker's head off in town square, and said it's our country now, good lord, that is terrifying. And as much as I hate Kirk Cousins, he has had very, very good season. Much better than I would have ever given him credit for going into it. He is, as Geek said, incredibly clutch. He has all of the weapons in the world at his disposal. The offensive line's going to be healthy. And you're going up against, what, Daniel fucking Jones? Cut me a break, dude. He's not good. Like Geek said, he's improved, but he went from dog shit to
mid.
Slightly fresher dog shit? Like, I don't know. He's not good. Okay, at the end of the day, he's not good. He's not. The fact that the Giants are about to pay him is borderline comical, in my opinion. Because if you look at the numbers, Brett Coleman made a fantastic tweet. I don't have it offhand, where he talked about the Giants' offensive numbers purely centered around the quarterback spot, like how much impact the quarterback has had on the offense. And they are bottom 5 in every single one. Everything is Brian Daboll scheming Daniel Jones to be in the simplest situations possible and either abusing Saquon or making something out of nothing with Walmart employees. Giants are here because of Brian Daboll. It's not because Daniel Jones got good. It's not because their defense is some great unit. It's because Brian Daboll's fucking awesome. And like Geek said, he's not perfect. He's going to show lapses. He's going to not fall apart. But he slips up once with this type of roster, and it's going to be catastrophic, especially against a team like Minnesota. Minnesota is going to walk away with this game handily. And I hate it. It literally feels like somebody just set a bomb off in my fucking stomach saying that and praising the Vikings like that. But they're not fraudulent. They're not going to get beat by the sorry-ass fucking Giants. They are a legitimate contender in the NFC, and they can go as far as Ed Donatel will allow them to go by getting out of the way and letting everybody do their thing.
So, I have one more quick point on the clutch levels of Kirk Cousins. You two have heard this. I sent you the video talking about it. Okay, I know Miller's heard it. I don't know if Jake saw it. I don't remember if he replied or not. I know Miller did, though. Kirk Cousins, when leading in a game, when the Vikings are ahead, he is 35th in passer rating, 32nd in yards per attempt. He's literally the worst quarterback in the NFL when the Vikings have a lead. When the game is tied, he's first in passer rating, first in yards per attempt, top 5 in every statistical category when the game is tied. He's also top 5 in every statistical category when trailing in a game. So, the whole weird, the Vikings have to get down before they can show up, it's weirdly accurate because Kirk is the worst quarterback of all time when he has a lead. But somehow, you have him trail or be tied, and he's better than everybody else. It's weird, and I hate it.
Yeah.
But it also, you get down by 2 scores and you go, it's fine. This is normal.
Yeah.
You don't panic. Whereas a team like the Giants, you're down 2 scores, you're going to panic. Or even other teams that aren't the Giants, the Bucks, that's a problem. Even the Cowboys, it's like, yeah, I don't know. Because they don't do it. They don't come back. Now, the Bucks could because they have Brady, but they also suck. Like, their roster's not good. If you're down double digits, you're screwed.
I went and looked up that Brett Coleman tweet just to give you an idea of how, not bad, but how far out of their way the Giants have gone to do everything to make Daniel Jones' life as easy as possible. They're 32nd in the league in explosive passes with 30. They are first in bootleg attempts with 88, but 36th in average depth of target on bootlegs. This is across quarterbacks, obviously not team because there's not 36 teams. They are third in play action use with 35.2%, 7th in total ran RPOs, and 5th in explosive runs with 70. They're a top 10 offense in terms of EPA, and their run game obviously is super explosive, but the way they go out of their way to be like, hey, Daniel, just sit back, man. Just run out a little bit, use your legs. Right. Yep. Use your legs a little bit. And listen, as we said, the Vikings defense is full of super fucking smart guys. They're going to take that away.
Yep.
All they have to do is be like, hey, Harry, he rolls out of the pocket.
Oh, God.
Go for him. Fucking missile. Worst case, he's going to get to like the line of scrimmage and Daniel Jones is going to try to throw a drag and Harry's just going to at it. You know, like, they are fucked. They are totally fucked. Yep. It's not, you know, they can't switch their game plan up overnight to go play the fucking fight. They are cooked. They are totally cooked.
It very well might be.
But I also,
Jake, with all due respect, you are a fool if you think the Giants can win this football game.
No, but he also has to make this pick because you see, there's a difference in the fandoms here. Because as a Bears fan, you knew you weren't going to be in it this season. I'm not trying to throw shade at the Bears. That's not my point.
I was fully aware of this.
But you knew coming into the year, you're not expected to be that team. The Packers were supposed to compete with the Vikings, make it tough. Then they didn't do that. They finally get to a point that they can work their way into the playoffs. And, it's still Rodgers. He can go on a magical run. It is Rodgers. I don't think we can. Yes. Fuck, I was kind of hoping for it, as much as that hurts to say.
Fair assumption. Yeah.
So my goal.
Weird reasoning.
So let me tell you, Miller, this is good stuff.
I need to hear the justification on this, because this is horrific.
So if the Packers made the 7 seed, they get to go play the Niners.
But they would beat confidently. Anyway, move on.
My goal would be for the Packers to beat them, because that sets up Minnesota to get another home playoff game against the Cowboys or Bucs.
Minnesota lose to the Packers in the NFC.
I see.
And then the Packers beat the Eagles, and we beat the Bucs and the Cowboys. We get to the NFC Championship game. I know it was my hope, because I'm a delusional fan.
This is his headcanon.
Right.
I already gave y'all mine. This is Geek.
Because then we get Packers-Vikings in Minnesota, mind you, not in the shitty conditions of Lambeau, where the field is fucking slippery when it hasn't snowed or rained in a month. That makes no sense. Yeah, I am going to cry over it. We had 3 starters get out for the season because of your shitty football field. Maybe if Lambeau was a good stadium, we wouldn't have so many goddamn problems.
You heard it here first, everybody. Jake Talk Sports thinks it's funny that 3 Vikings players went down with season-ending injuries.
I did not say that.
That's what he was doing.
He brought it up and you went, yep.
Whatever.
That's the title of this.
I love it.
In the dream, the Packers just help the Vikings get home field through the playoffs. That's was the dream. It's not that I wanted the Packers to win. It's just I wanted the Vikings to.
Not happen.
Because if you play in Minnesota, that's the other thing about this Giants game. It's in Minnesota. That is the loudest stadium any team in the playoffs is going to play in by a lot.
Right.
Now, I know the Chiefs have the record for that one moment they were the loudest place ever. But it was that one moment. It quiets down in Kansas City. It doesn't get quiet in Minnesota. Even when you're down by 33, the fans are still there. Like, nah, we're not making this easy on you. The boys will step up eventually. That's what Minnesota is. We have the best home field advantage in this playoffs. So if that's why I also want the Seahawks to win. Give us another home game. Let's go.
To be fair, my Super Bowl pick should be the Seahawks, because then a certain quarterback would get a ring.
That's true.
But, you know who?
His favorite quarterback.
You know who the current backup on the Seahawks is? He would get a ring.
Yeah.
I was thinking Packers. You're right. I forgot.
He would get a ring. Drew Lock, Super Bowl champion Drew Lock.
Trubisky.
Yeah, we know.
I just wanted to say that.
Didn't have to say it.
You did, though. It was
okay.
Trubisky is one of the worst starting quarterbacks I've ever seen.
I'm a Drew Lock guy. I'm a Drew Lock guy through and through. Nothing's gonna change my stance on that.
So for this, we've got Giants, Vikings, right?
Unfortunately,
yes.
Let's go.
Yeah.
This is the only podcast I've seen where anyone picked the Vikings.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. The Giants are favorites for some stupid reason. Because it is entirely because the Vikings are frauds and they suck. Because we've lost to good teams. Unlike everyone else.
They're all correct.
They're not.
No, they're not, but I want them to be.
That's fucked up.
I desperately want them to be.
I'm not cheering for the Vikings.
Sorry.
That's fucked up.
They could win this game.
I'm not either.
You should.
Why?
Because we've never won anything. We need.
Let
us have one, homie.
The only NFC North team.
No, we only have one. Not until we get 2.
The only NFC North
No, let us get one.
That I would root for in the playoffs if they were to make it would be the Lions.
You wouldn't have this year, though.
Would have this year, even if they'd beaten us. I said that openly. I said if it comes down to us two for the playoff spot and they beat us, I'll gladly cheer for the Lions because they're awesome and I love Jamal Williams.
You're just mad that they beat you when they had nothing to play for, other than what they kept saying on the broadcast. If we're not going, they're not going.
Yeah, nothing to
I
play
love Dan
for.
Campbell for that,
Nothing
man.
to play for a team coached by Dan Campbell is everything to play for.
That's a good point. Dan Campbell always finds a way. No, you see, this game's really important because if we beat this team, then
why would
7
you not
years
try
down the
your
line.
hardest?
Well,
Why would you not
If
try?
we beat them, I'm taking everybody out to steak dinner tonight.
right? Like Dan Campbell's always working it up.
Like, why would you not try your hardest to knock a division rival out of the playoffs, even
That's
if you're
fair.
out of it?
At positioning.
I mean,
Well, see, but for the
They don't
Lions,
know
it
how
doesn't
much they're
matter because
trading.
they have the
Well,
Rams
it's different
pick.
this year. Right. In
Yeah, they
this
don't care. They
situation,
don't
it
have a
doesn't
first-round
matter. But I was saying generally speaking.
also trading up. So.
Because, I mean, there's a reason the Bears played fucking nobody against us.
Well, Justin Fields was hurt.
Hurt.
He didn't tank. Justin Fields got hurt.
Yes.
He didn't we would never partake in such actions, such as tanking.
Uh-huh.
It would never challenge
it wouldn't
the
have
integrity
fucking
of the game.
mattered. It wouldn't have
You're
mattered.
right, it wouldn't have. It wouldn't have by any stretch of the imagination.
I think our
You're right.
backups might have been able to beat you.
You're not totally wrong.
Mostly because Alexander Madison exists. That's a pretty good backup to have.
And we would have let up. How many yards do we let up that game?
God, I have no idea.
It was. No, I'm thinking of the Lions game that went fucking bonkers. Never mind. The
Yeah,
Lions
but
game
what-
got really out of hand.
What did you do to us?
Vikings.
I mean,
You guys put in your backups like midway through the third quarter.
yeah, we
were just like
341 yards passing, and over 100 yards rushing. I'm not doing the math on that.
Lions went
We
up
had
over 500.
we had 7 dudes get a carry in this game. Adam
CJ Ham wasn't
Thielen
one of them, was he?
shot. No,
He had, like,
CJ
3
Ham didn't
catches.
play. Oh, did he?
He had like 3
4
receptions that game.
He did not have a carry though.
Off by 1.
Adam
No.
Thielen had a carry. Why?
Why not?
Why?
Why not?
Jalen Reagor had a carry. Nick Mullins had 4. Kene Nwangwu had 5. Ty Chandler had
remember
6. Dalvin Cook had 11, and Madison had 10.
Yeah.
We had a lot of guys. Jalen Naylor
A lot of guys.
cooked you.
Speedy Naylor. Hell
He's-
yeah.
Dude, we need to get him more involved in the offense. This is 2
I
weeks
wanted him as
where
a
he's
Bear.
came in and just done something spectacular. He's
In all
great.
fairness, he was playing. If the Giants have Walmart employees, the Bears have Best Buy
That's
employees.
valid. Also,
that's who you're going up
my
against in their
God.
secondary.
I forgot about that. Herb
But-
Smith Jr. is back.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, you take one of the best offenses in the NFL and add another above average weapon?
Jake's just mad he's better than Robert Tunyon.
That's fair. He's mad that the Vikings have 3 tight ends better than any tight end on the Packers.
Okay.
Axe.
Don't you disrespect Johnny Munt.
That's very
Yeah.
disrespectful to Robert.
Jake's just
Tonyan.
mad that Robert Tunyon has slipped to 3rd in the tight end hierarchy. 4th, actually.
4th.
It would be 4th.
Yeah. Because
The NFC North.
yeah, Hawkinson,
Yes.
Kmet, Smith.
Met. Right.
Have
that
you not
dude.
been watching Kmet?
Yeah.
I hate
did
the
you
guy,
watch
but he's
Matt
so
Kelly
good.
At all?
He's
Terrible. I hate him.
He's good, and I hate him.
First in every metric. Isn't good at anything. Doesn't do anything well. I think he's probably the worst tight end to ever play the game of football.
Also,
ever.
best tight end touchdown celebration with the home run swing. It's the best.
You should go to
Remember
baseball.
when
Honestly, he flopped at football, so I shouldn't be
Remember?
playing football anymore.
Remember during the offseason when I went to bat for Komet, like daily, everyone was like, he sucks, and now he was the best receiver on the Bears all season.
I didn't say he sucks, but my take didn't age well. The Irv Smith's gonna be better, and we went out and traded for a different tight end.
Yeah, there it is.
That was a miss.
Yeah.
This was
That's
a playoff
good.
preview
I
at some
love
point.
Well,
Favorite
we went through the playoff. Well, the wild card.
Sure.
We'll get to the divisional
were
round
supposed
when it exists next week.
We were supposed to talk about coach firings, and that makes me sad that we didn't because I wanted to yell
I mean,
at the
we
Texans.
still
To be fair,
can.
we still could, but we took so
I
much
thought we
time to
wanted to.
playoff
Yeah, I was
preview.
gonna say.
Yeah,
I
we
thought we
could.
wanted to keep these at like a certain time.
We're only an hour 30
very
in. We can go
difficult
another
with
30.
that.
Let's go another 30.
Really?
Yeah, we're only an hour
Okay, we can
30
do
in.
that. Okay. So, Jake, do your thing.
Just keep it under 2, I think, is the goal.
Thing.
Transition.
Oh,
you're the transition guy.
So obviously, yeah,
I shouldn't have to remind you of this.
We passed the day after the NFL season, as we've been reminded. They don't. Anyway, we've been past the day after the NFL season, which means we had some fire rankings. Not as many as I think most of us were expecting. To be like, just as David just mentioned, the Texans made a decision to fire Lovie Smith, and Cliff Kingsbury was fired. Those are the only 2 head coaching fires that we're really going to talk about. But we'll start with Lovie Smith because he's got some fans on this podcast. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Listen, I just want to say I don't think Lovie Smith is a great head coach. Let me preface this with that. He's not. You can find a coach better than Lovie Smith. I don't want to say easily, but realistically. It's not going to be the hardest thing in the world to do. However, sending a message to any head coaching candidate that you have fired 2 head coaches after losing seasons back-to-back years. Granted, one of them was an interim guy, but everyone loved David Culley. Like,
he
David
wasn't
Culley
an interim, though.
okay.
They actually went out, interviewed, and hired him from somewhere else. He was a full head coach. Yes.
Okay. Hammers at home even more. Back-to-back years. 2 head coaches. Not to mention they were both minority head coaches, which we already know there's a whole big thing about them because, quite frankly, they don't get hired enough. But back-to-back years, you said, hey guys, here's the least talented roster in football. Do something with it, or you don't have a job. And guess what? They weren't able to do anything with it because you gave them literally nothing. I understand Lovie and Culley weren't great head coaches, but look, they don't have a quarterback. They don't have weapons on offense. They had Brandon Cooks, and halfway through the year, Brandon Cooks said, fuck this. I don't want to be a Texan anymore.
Trade me.
I'm hurt. I want to get traded. I don't want to be on the field. Dameon Pierce was great. He got hurt 3/4 of the way through the year. Their best player on offense, unironically this year, was their fucking fullback. I'm not joking when I say that. At the end of the year, the best healthy player they had. I phrased that poorly. The best player they had in their final game on offense was their fullback, Troy Hairston. Granted, he's awesome. Coming from the fullback guy, the best player you have on your offense at any given point is your fullback in the year of our Lord 2023. Your offense sucks. Point blank period. And then on defense, we all know Lovie loves that Tampa 2 defense. That's his bread and butter. He runs it a very specific way. He did not have the personnel to do it in Houston. He just didn't. And they expected him to I don't know what they expected. Quite frankly, I have no idea. But now you fire 2 head coaches back-to-back years after losing seasons with a terrible roster. No chance in the world. Why would anyone want to come work for you? Why would someone like D'Amico Ryans or Ben Johnson go, you know what? I want to be a Houston Texan next year, where the expectations are sky high and the talent's in the basement. The Texans are going to find a new head coach. Obviously, somebody's going to settle.
Yes.
At the end of the day, somebody's going to be like, this is the only opening. They want me. I'm going to take it. But they're not going to get their pick of the litter. This isn't a big, sexy, attractive coaching job. And on top of that, you fucked yourself out of the first overall pick. Now you might not get your choice of quarterback like you thought you were going to. If Houston gets this pick, or if Houston's going into this offseason with the thought that they're getting Young, Stroud, Levis, whoever their number 1 guy is, the coaching job's a lot more attractive. Now you don't have that, because you either have to give up assets to move up for it, or you're just going to have to take the second guy. And, the second guy in this class could be great, but that still makes the job a lot less attractive.
I'm not going to lie, this has Kellen Moore written all over it.
I think it's D'Amico Ryans.
I don't think D'Amico will go here. I think
he has the Texans connection. That's where he played almost his entire career.
He does make sense scheme-wise. He's a defensive guy. They need a defensive-minded coach.
No, they don't. They need an offense. They need
somebody on that staff who can run a defense.
D'Amico Ryans is going to get an offer from a team that has actual talent and a competent front office.
And the thing is, I think
D'Amico Ryans is going to go.
They're a really good fit.
Absolutely. Him and Ben Johnson, outside of Sean Payton, who you have to trade for, are going to be the 2 hottest head coach candidates.
I mean, Eric Bieniemy still exists. Harbaugh's going to be hotter than all of them.
Okay, Forgot Harbaugh was a thing. That's fair.
And
Bieniemy-
that's now
Out of
4
college.
coaches. There are 5 openings.
How much does Bieniemy want to be a head coach? Is the question.
I don't think it's Bieniemy doesn't want to be a head coach. Doesn't Bieniemy have like concerns with being shitty to players, or is that just Shady McCoy being an idiot?
Well,
Partially him being an idiot, but also he does have some pretty wacky interactions with Mahomes.
I was gonna say I wouldn't say that they hate him, but he's not Tomlin and Pete Carroll. He's not a player's coach by any means. Like he's not a
good locker room guy.
Not a shot at Bieniemy, but like sometimes just guys just aren't meant to be a head coach.
Yeah,
Maybe
fair.
Bieniemy's one of those guys that's just meant to be a coordinator, which is fine because he's one of the best coordinators in the game. But like, maybe he's not meant to be a head coach. We've seen plenty of examples of that. Vic Fangio, for example, one of the brightest defensive minds of the past 20, 30 years.
Don't do that.
He couldn't be a head coach.
He was a good head coach. The Broncos had no quarterback and no offensive line, and their weapons weren't that good.
They had your boy Teddy.
And look at what happened at the beginning of the year when they let Teddy play, and their offense actually was an offense, and you threw more than 5 yards down the field. Oh, he was.
You're right.
They were one of the best offenses in the league. It's just Jerry Jeudy gets hurt, and suddenly they go, "We're only gonna run it." And then after saying we're only gonna run it, we go, "Teddy's not doing enough, so we're gonna bench him for Drew Lock." And then that's a shit show.
Yeah.
You don't bench somebody for a worse quarterback.
I don't know. Maybe I'm being too hard on Fangio. He
I
did win Matt Nagy Coach of the Year. after
Also,
all.
how many people actually outside of Broncos fans were watching the Broncos?
How many?
That's the difference. I was watching every game because they're the local team, so they're on every fucking
fair.
TV everywhere.
That's fair.
Speaking of Fangio, like this whole like I don't know if it's cause like this whole like he's with Sean Payton thing is like real. I think it's
it is.
confirmed.
I hope it is, dude.
But I mean we can move on. Like we can keep talking about the Texans, but also just talking about the other vacancy with the Cardinals. I mean I think Sean Payton fits in perfectly with here, and so does Vic Fangio. I think Sean Payton with Kyler Murray would be pretty special.
No. There are not very many spots where Sean Payton actually makes sense. Sean Payton's offense is not built for a guy like Russ or Kyler or a guy who's mobile. His offense is entirely three-step drop, make a quick read, hit your open guy over the middle. Russ doesn't do that. Kyler doesn't do that.
Where's he gonna go?
That's
there's
my
not gonna be a
point.
guy that has a vacancy.
When
Chargers
he
get knocked
said-
out in the first round, fire Brandon Staley. He's a Charger.
That might make
Perfect
sense.
fit.
Yes. Because we've
Perfect
also
fit.
seen
I don't
Sean
know.
Payton
I don't
with
know
a
if they fire Staley.
pre-washed Breeze where Breeze could still throw. But Breeze was not super mobile. Kyler and Russ just won't work. I don't think. I don't think those are good
they will
fits.
either.
Now,
Especially
the
another
Panthers
thing with-
are
Oh,
interesting.
sorry, go ahead.
The Panthers are an interesting spot for Sean Payton because he gets to pick his guy.
Trade up to number 1 for Bryce Young. Get
Or-
Sean Payton.
Or whoever Peyton wants.
Right,
He gets
whoever,
even if
whoever,
Peyton could
right.
decide, fuck it, I want to ride with Matt Corral. He could. Well, this has destroyed the
Interesting.
show. And now it flipped everything. Now Miller is Jake and Jake's me and I'm Miller.
Sorry. I don't.
You can
We're back,
work
we're
a little editing magic, can't you?
No,
We're back.
not on that one. I'm leaving that in
okay.
though because it was a ride for the
Yeah,
for the people watching on
like,
YouTube. This
my
fucking
web
guy.
page just reloaded. Is that even gonna work?
I don't
He
know.
leaves and rejoins.
It should. It should be all fine once he turns his camera back on. I don't know why we're playing these games though. Come on, Doc. Hit the camera now. There you go.
We better. We're better.
What the fuck are we
Alright.
doing,
guys.
boys?
My Discord straight
Hey.
up crashed.
Oh,
So did mine.
sure.
I had
Swear
like
to God.
I had like the Chromebook reload. This page couldn't be loaded thing.
I don't know if I'm pointing to Jake, but yeah. That's what
God,
happened
we
to me.
need to get you boys some laptops. Holy fuck.
Hey man, my birthday's coming up. You know that.
Hey man,
Hey
my
man,
birthday's
I
coming
got
up a month later.
37 cents in my bank account. I'll be sure to ship that over.
Well, maybe he wasn't specifically referring to you. Maybe
Oh,
he
I
just
know.
meant as a general statement. Yeah,
By the way-
not everything's about you.
My
Okay.
Venmo is.
There you go. Put the
A lot of people
Venmo in the
listening at
bio.
home.
There you go. No. I have decided, though, that by the time I can afford a new laptop, I'm giving one of you my old MacBook 100%. I don't know who it'll be. Might have to have you guys legitimately fist fight over it, which I think would be some good content.
I'll just hand it over to Jake. I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Nah, fair enough.
I also don't want to break Jake's face. That wouldn't be fair.
But we'll do something. I actually might turn it into like a YouTube video competition style because it'd be funny as shit. I got ideas. But that's not important. But no, the Cardinals job.
No.
I don't know who should go there. Especially now. First, they have to find a GM. Okay, we're hearing him out.
Cliff Kingsbury. He just became available, I heard, so maybe Cliff Kingsbury.
Yes. Maybe they'll bring Steve Kime
I
in
legitimately
as GM
have
too.
no idea who's going to be the Cardinals head coach.
Well, they need a
Ben
GM.
Johnson, maybe?
But then
I think it's gonna be. I honestly think they're gonna hire Vance Joseph from the inside and just call it a year.
I think that would work.
Yeah.
And I think dude deserves
I think it'll
a head
work for a
coaching
year.
job.
Yeah.
He deserves more than a year. I'm so pissed with how the Broncos did that, man. That pissed me off. To hire him for a year, right? You have him for a year. He underachieves, which fucking obviously you gave him Trevor Siemian and Paxton Lynch to be QB. Like, dog, what are we doing?
Be nice to Chicago native Trevor Siemian.
No, fuck Trevor Siemian. He played for the Vikings too. Vikings legend Trevor Siemian. But come on.
Nobody is ever a Vikings legend.
Everyone's
just
a Vikings
like Jared
legend.
Allen, Chiefs legend.
Excuse me?
Chiefs legend Jared Allen.
We can't be doing this.
Bears legend Ellen Page.
I'm gonna burn the city of
Titans
Chicago
legend
to the
Adrian
ground.
Peterson.
Commander's legend Kirk Cousins.
There you go. Okay, moving the fuck
Lions
on.
legend TJ Hawkinson.
LSU legend Justin Jefferson.
Hey Siri, give me famous Vikings players.
We're not fucking doing this. We have an actual show to run. We have 20 minutes left of our runtime. What the fuck are we doing?
Bills legend Jerome Felton.
I'm gonna kick you in the dick. Okay.
Did
So,
Fran Tarkenton play anywhere else?
yes, on the Giants actually.
Giants legend.
Fran Tarkenton. Only team he
I
ever
heard he's
was
the top
actually
10
good on.
quarterback of all time.
Actually, he sucked on the Giants.
Fran Tarkenton should probably cheer for the Giants this weekend.
No.
It's the team he was better for anyway.
That's false. I'm over this. Packers. Nope, I'm not gonna even go that one. Packers legend. They don't have any legends, so we're just moving on.
Real.
Yeah.
Real.
Well, I'm not gonna argue.
Half of their legends are shitty people, so
time
fuck 'em.
crunch.
Real.
So
Reggie Bush didn't do anything. That's not his name. That's not his name. Never mind. I'm gonna stop talking. Reggie White didn't do anything.
Reggie Bush, this fucking guy. And Reggie Bush did do something. That's kind of where the problem with Reggie Bush came from.
Reggie White didn't do anything.
Oh, man.
Just like Bills legend Antoine Winfield Sr.
I will fucking kill you over that one. Don't you do that to my boy. Okay.
I got one more.
Boys, that's enough. Fuck.
I got one more in me. Redskins legend Paul Krause.
Don't you ever say that again. Never again. Never. No. Okay. But Vance Joseph, since that's what we were actually talking about, just like the Denver Broncos, Miller Football is ignoring Vance Joseph because that's how Miller Football is. Just hates Vance Joseph for no reason. But Vance Joseph got 1 year.
I like Vance Joseph just as much as I like Chiefs legend Randall McDaniel. Thank you very much.
Oh, we're so not doing this.
Patriots legend Randy Moss. All right, I'm done.
Fucking hell, dude. You just wasted 20 minutes for a bit that was not funny in the beginning.
It was funny to me and Jake.
Jake gave up on it halfway through. It wasn't that funny to him. You just don't know how to let a bit die.
Laughing. You're right, I don't.
Eagles legend Chris Carter? Question mark? Sorry. The
Fuck
only reason
it.
I was quiet about it is because I was looking people
Fuck
up.
it. This is where it ends. Run the North. This is its first and last episode, ladies and gentlemen. We're fucking over it.
No, Vance Joseph.
Can I
Cardinals
finish
head
my
coach.
goddamn point now, or
Yes.
what? Fucking hell. Okay. God, you guys are worse than Skip Bayless with the fucking interruptions. Holy shit. Yeah, I did that to you. Deal with it. Vance Joseph has one season with the Broncos, where obviously they were bad. Their quarterback situation was the worst in football. So what do you do that offseason? We're going to fire Vance Joseph. We don't need a defensive head coach. And then they went and signed Vic Fangio. They did Vance Joseph the dirtiest of any head coach ever. Like, at least, because it was about the same year, at least with, God damn it, what is his name? The interim for the Panthers now. He coached in Arizona for 1 year. Wilkes. I was only going Weish, and I knew that wasn't right. He used to be on NFL Network. Okay. I just got the two confused in my brain for some reason. But Wilkes in Arizona, at least after 1 year and him getting fired, at least they didn't go another defensive guy. They went out and tried to get an offensive guru, and at least that kind of makes sense, and you can see the vision there. But getting rid of a defensive head coach who only got 1 year to go get another defensive head coach is stupid.
Mm-hmm.
That's just awful.
Well, I don't know if it's necessarily stupid. I think there were other factors at play if we know anything about that. There's people up top in Denver at the time. I don't think it was stupidity.
That's
I think
valid.
they were a little worried about something else.
That's valid.
But you're right. It was the wrong move, is what it is.
Yeah. Also,
So-
think
From a
we
pure
will
football
be-
standpoint, it was
We
stupid.
will be revisiting these head coaching topics because there are going to be so many more firings, I predict.
Yeah.
I
between
hope
now
so.
And probably even our next episode. Josh McDaniels, I think, stays because I think financial stuff has been leaked that he's going to stay.
Well, and I think the Derek Carr news today
The problem
proves it.
is, this is one of the first times that I can remember in the recent years that there are way too many candidates to vacancies. I mean, usually there's more candidates than vacancies, but the ratio is pretty huge as of right now. You have Jim Harbaugh, Sean Payton, you have Kellen Moore, D'Amico Ryans, Ben Johnson. That's 5, and there are 2 openings right now, pretty much. Because the Colts are messing around and going to hire Jeff Saturday or somebody.
No, the
from their
Colts actually
organization.
had a bunch of guys in today.
I think the enemy was one of the guys that interviewed
Bieniemy
for the Colts, if I'm not
was.
mistaken.
Bieniemy was. Eric Bieniemy.
I really just want to see, after all this time of him not getting a job, how he's going to be as an NFL head coach if he ever does it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm rooting
I'm
for
really
Bieniemy to get a
curious.
job.
They also
Absolutely,
interviewed Bubba Ventrone. I don't know who that is.
He's part of their organization.
Is he? Okay.
I know
They
he's
also-
part of the Colts.
Immediately.
I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce dude's name here.
Who is he?
He is the Broncos defensive coordinator.
Oh, Avero, I believe is his last name.
Avero is the last name.
Yeah.
I don't want to butcher homie's name, so I'm just not gonna.
Yeah, that's
I
understandable.
mean, him leaving is the perfect. I don't know. I mean, he's one of those coordinators who should get hired.
I think he should get hired in Denver.
There are guys like him, and there are guys like he could, and then there are guys like the Seahawks offensive coordinator. Don't know his name, but he's been good this year. I think
Sean
he deserves
Desai?
some recognition. Yeah, I think the
Is that
Seahawks
Sean
offensive
Desai?
coordinator definitely should get some
Oh,
consideration.
you said offensive coordinator. I thought you said defensive.
Yeah,
My mistake.
Ben
Yeah.
Johnson. I think Ben Johnson should be hired somewhere.
Yeah, he will be hired somewhere. Sean Payton will get traded somewhere, and then D'Amico Ryans will sign somewhere, and
Well,
Ben
yeah,
Johnson will sign somewhere. I
There's
will say
also,
those. Oh, but Harbaugh. I keep forgetting Harbaugh. Fuck.
Yeah. Also,
It's
Shane
wrong.
Steichen, the Eagles OC. Jonathan Cannon's going to be up there.
Yeah.
Dan Quinn, we forgot to
Again,
mention
the
him.
ratio.
Leslie
Does he
Frazier.
want a head coach job? Is Dan Quinn interviewing?
I don't know. He
He's
is interviewing.
Oh, I guess he can't.
He's-
He can't interview right now, right? Because they're still in the playoffs.
Well,
No, but he's
they
like-
can request to have him.
okay.
Because
And
I
but
gotcha.
he's given.
Yeah.
He's given a couple teams permission to interview him.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
but it also has to wait until like a bye week. That's why Bieniemy is allowed to interview right now because the Chiefs are on bye.
Makes sense.
Also, Frank Reich still exists and absolutely deserves to be a head coach.
As much as I hate to say it, I don't think he'll get a job this year.
I'm
should.
kind of with
Really
Jake. I think he's going to get an offensive coordinator job and then get a head coach job next year.
Yeah,
I
think he'll do a
know.
really good job as somebody's OC next year.
I would hire him. I absolutely would hire Reich, but I just think with all the names out there, the fact that he's fresh off of getting fired, I don't know if he'll get a head coach.
I think I would hire Reich in a certain situation, but like if I had to choose between him and like Sean Payton and like
if you're the Cardinals though, Frank Reich's offense with Kyler Murray, I like that.
Interesting.
I don't hate that.
I was gonna say if the Chargers fire Brandon Staley, which fingers crossed they do. I really want them to fire Brandon Staley.
They're not going to at this point.
I don't think they will.
I know they're not.
They have to have
let me dream.
Historic disaster class against the Jags.
Let me dream.
They beat the Jags. His job is safe.
Yeah,
100%.
100%.
No, absolutely it is.
If they win a playoff game,
but we're all in agreement that they're probably not going to do that.
Yes.
So
if they lose,
maybe
he's not
they
100%
entertain
safe, but I think he's probably 75% safe even if
I'll
they
put
lose.
it this way. I want Frank Reich with the Chargers in some capacity. Maybe they're going to fire their offensive coordinator if they lose in the first round. I can almost guarantee that. Frank Reich as their offensive coordinator at least would be awesome.
I mean,
yeah. And
we saw what he did with Wentz in that offense. Herbert's just Wentz, but 10 times better.
Yeah.
Like the tools are the same.
And the thing with Staley is like he's not going to get fired most likely either way because Herbert's able to elevate the weapons and they're like, well, Staley, they won this many games and made the playoffs. So Staley.
It'll also
I can also see them going the route of Staley's defense guy. Defense kind of poopy.
No, they're going to go Staley's defense guy. The defense in the last half of the season started playing actually good. He's finally figuring it out. They're finally getting healthy. They're giving him one more year. I almost guarantee it. Again, unless the Jags come out and hang 50 on him, which is possible. They have no corners.
They almost did the first time.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my God, please, T-Law.
Dude,
please hang 50 on him. Please.
I just need T-Law to be T-Law for another game because I need him on the national stage to prove it again. Because people are still down on T-Law for some reason.
I don't know. I've seen the opposite. I've seen people trying to put T-Law in the same conversation as Justin Herbert recently.
That's because of that other show we mentioned earlier.
I see.
There was a conversation about T-Law's arm talent being just as good as Josh Allen. Yeah. Or around the level of Josh Allen's.
No. T-Law's arm is amazing. It's great, but it's not
Josh Allen.
It's not Mahomes, Herbert, and Allen. It's Burrow.
It's
better than Burrow.
I might even put Allen's arm in a different tier than Herbert's. As good as Herbert's is. I mean,
same with Mahomes.
Herbert's a better quarterback, though.
Yeah, I tend to agree. He's more consistent.
Precisely.
Also, there's not another Justin Herbert in the NFL who's better than him. So
precisely.
I'm not gonna lie, and I legitimately do think that I trust Justin Herbert more to string 4 good games together to win a Super Bowl than Josh Allen.
Josh Allen has more talent. Herbert just
I don't know if Josh Allen can string together 4 good enough games. They don't get the bye. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's Mahomes. Then Mahomes, then Herbert, then like Allen, Burrow, Lamar, Rodgers. I guess I don't know.
It's Mahomes, Lamar. No,
man.
I gotta be that guy. Everybody else is telling me that Lamar still sucks, so I gotta be that guy.
He's a top 5 quarterback in the NFL.
Yep.
Yeah.
Unhealthy for sure.
Even when he's not healthy, I think he's proved that he is the Ravens.
Yeah.
That is the worst team in football the minute he left.
He is a top 5 quarterback in the National Football League, and if you think otherwise, bruh.
We're not, but also, I'm going to say this, if the Colts actually hire Jeff Saturday, I'm going to scream.
Yeah, break. They won't.
It's Jim Irsay, though.
And it's Jim Irsay and Jim Irsay's drinking buddy.
If they do that, I will buy a Jeff Saturday Packers jersey.
There you go.
Mark my words.
That kind of is a dub.
I want Jeff Saturday to work as a coach. I really do. It's never going to happen.
I mean, it could.
But I want it so bad. I don't know. Listen, he's such a smart dude. There are not many coaches that know football like Jeff Saturday is going to know football. I just don't know if he has, like, I guess you would call it like the intangibles of coaching, so to speak. But oh my God, he's such a smart football. Like Peyton Manning talks about it all the time. Peyton Manning might be the smartest player to ever play a snap of football, and he calls Jeff Saturday smarter than him.
That's not true. Go find the film of Peyton on the sideline. Just fucking block, Jeff. You don't call the plays. No, I do. Fucking block.
Okay. Maybe on the field it's a little bit different, but when he's talking him up and sweet talking in interviews, regardless, we all know Jeff Saturday's a smart football dude. He's a football guy.
He's a center. Your centers are the second smartest dudes on the field.
Right, and he's arguably the greatest center of all time. I don't know if I'd put him there.
He's up there.
I don't know if I'm qualified enough to talk greatest center of all time, but I mean, he's absolutely up there.
He played center.
He's absolutely up there.
Two pretty good quarterbacks. So.
True. Yeah. Speaking of Jeff Saturday, did you guys ever see the video of Big Ben talking about playing with him in the Pro Bowl?
No.
Big Ben.
Don't want to hear anything Big Ben has to say.
It's kind of funny though. It was like, so, when you make the Pro Bowl for us, Jeff Saturday made it, who was Peyton's center, and whichever one of the Pounceys played center in Pittsburgh.
Mike.
Thank you, Mike. Also made it, and he's like, but we don't always get to use our centers in the Pro Bowl. Sometimes you got to go in with Jeff. I did, and I was always taught you put your hands just off center when you're up under there, right? First snap, we fumble, and Jeff walks up to me and he goes, "You see that brown spot back there? Stick that knuckle, that one right there, right up in there." Ben goes, I turned to Peyton and said, "Peyton, you're in. I'm not working with this guy anymore."
Fair enough.
That's hilarious. That brown spot, stick it right there. Peyton, help. Peyton.
I'm not gonna say that. I think I had a
oh God, yeah, no
remark, but we're not gonna go there.
No,
you guys have imaginations. You can piece together where I was gonna go with that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
The only time I'm not gonna say it.
No,
I got you. I got
Stop
you.
it.
I
Jake,
got you.
Jake, move us along.
Yeah.
We got like time for like wrap up here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, obviously, we want to thank you guys so much for listening to the inaugural episode of the Run the North podcast. This wasn't perfect. This will never be perfect, but I had a pretty fun time. I think hopefully my co-host can say the same here, and that's really what it's all about. And we hope you had fun listening to it. Huge shout out to Anchor for making this possible, all that good stuff. We don't have like a link tree or anything. Just go follow us on all our platforms. It's the same name everywhere. Run the North podcast. Best sports podcast out there, clearly. Just wait for the 5-star reviews to start pouring in.
Not true.
J-Talk Sports podcast better. Anyway,
podcast better.
It's not a sports podcast. It's just a podcast.
Anyway,
it's what's the word? Amalgamation. That's the
Among
word.
Us.
That's the scuffed ass podcast.
No.
All right. Well, I'm gonna end this podcast off the same way I end off every podcast I've ever been on and hosted. Drew Lock, starting quarterback. Have a fantastic night. We'll see you later.
God damn it.